Brazil's new superstars SG Esports versus Keen Gaming.
The StubHub post-match breakdown.
A very warm welcome back to the Barclaycard Arena for live coverage of ESL One Hamburg 2017. If you're just joining us, where the heck have you been? Because you've just missed an absolute cracking game. And I tell you what, right now, maths is what we're all about in this panel. 147 kills in 2 games. You wanted action? You got action as soon as we started kicking off the day. First match is already a blast. We're back with our panel members once more. Cap and Nahaz got plenty to talk about after an exciting game 2, where we're all drawn up again between these two sides. Alan, it's great. Can't not enjoy the game, can you?
I mean, this was supposed to be our warm-up series. The two worst
worst teams
in the tournament. Yeah, I don't think so. No, you called it, Paul. I give you tons of credit because I had already kind of discounted.
It's on the card.
I had already discounted that Arc Warden pick in my head. I thought it was pre-countered. But this is the thing. When you're a young team playing on the big stage for the first time, like is SG Esports, you want to show your signature stuff. And that they did. They picked the Arc Warden. And the thing that I had discounted in analyzing that draft, they had a kick-ass set of early game rotations to go around it. Forced Dark out of that bottom lane completely, killed him even when he went mid, and really created chaos with their 2 roaming supports throughout all 3 of the lanes in the early game.
I guess, Cap, if there's anything to criticize SG for, it's the fact it took them a lot longer to win this game than it should have done, really.
Yeah, they definitely had some opportunities to be able to close out the game maybe a little bit sooner, but they definitely played it careful. They did not want to lose this game, especially looking at game number 1. If I was them, I would have been like, man, we shouldn't have lost this game either. So they really wanted to make sure 100% they had it in the bag, and there were so many situations where SG did a very good job playing around the Arc Warden. I was like looking at him. I remember looking at it in Star Ladder, and they beat VG Gaming with the Arc Warden, and they looked very good with it. But then they lost the Mineski, and I saw that Mineski game, they just got rolled over. But the thing was is that the way they played against VG Gaming, they did play it very well, and they played that same kind of style here, where they knew how to protect the Arc Warden in the early game with some of their map rotations.
Yeah, it was very well played. I think you hit on the point early on, Alan. They've played comfort heroes in this last game. They've not worried too much about where it's gone or what they might get countered by. They've brought out the Arc Warden, they brought out the Breaker, they brought out the Marana. 3 of their most played heroes forever for this team. So when they're up against the wall, have they shown their cards? Is that the problem now in this best of 3? They've kind of gone, okay, we're about to go out the tournament, let's just break out what we're really good at. And now that's given the information Keen need, and that's the trouble that maybe heading into game 3 they can get figured out.
You can talk about all that you want, but the other team still has to stop it. And I'm honestly, if I'm Keen, I'm thinking about whether I have to ban Arc Warden first phase.
Right.
Because I thought, if I'm Keen, I thought I had the heroes to stop it. Now, as you look at these fights in the replays, you talk about SG playing around the Arc Warden. How about the way that Keen were able to play around the Ink Death Prophet? I mean, this is... Exorcism did over 3k hero damage in 3 different fights. This particular fight, Blitz asked afterward, Exorcism did over 5k hero damage in this fight, and it just felt like so many times the Death Prophet would come in on the tail end and they just couldn't kill her.
Yeah, I think the other fun thing in this was I was starting to count how many times Blitz said, well, they've got cheese and Aegis now, they'll definitely run them over, because that seemed to be a theme. Like, they kept getting the Aegis, couldn't push the advantage. Kept getting the Aegis, couldn't push the advantage. Why was that?
Well, that was the other side. I want to back up even from that question, because the Aegis advantage was the other side of the story from game 1, where we saw in game 1 that it was the side of Keen Gaming that were able to just dominate that Roshan pit, partially because of the Underlord, because of their hero composition, and the unexpectedly strong early game around the Arc Warden. It was this time SG that were able to control the Rosh pit. Yeah, you can argue all you want about they should have been able to finish the game earlier, but frankly, both sides played really well and showed that they deserve to be here.
I think it was definitely a build-up of momentum for Keen in some ways, and that they did have such a harsh early game that they kind of got run over and they weren't able to have the mid-game that they should have been able to have, and that's where you want to be able to close out this game against an Arc Warden. So then they push in a late game and they start looking like the Keen that we saw in game number 1 and the Keen that we've seen in the qualifiers, and it's just a little bit too late for them. They played it really well, and it was amazing how they were able to stall SG for so long. And but the thing was, they were kept stalling, and they kept managing to prolong this game further and further. But ultimately, they were prolonging into a mistake. That's what they needed to have happen. They needed to be able to find a really cool pickoff that would allow them to be able to be on the offensive for once. And that just, honestly, SG never gave them that opportunity, which was very good of SG. I think Keen just looked better over time in this game, where they lacked some of the discipline that they showed us that was so clear in the qualifiers, by the way. Extremely disciplined team. They were very good at making sure they didn't get picked off. Here in this game, too, they definitely had some of those pickoffs that were pretty costly, especially that mid-push on the melee racks where you're like suiciding for the racks, for your Chaos Knight who's going to be forced into a buyback, and your Clockwork who doesn't have buyback. Like, these sort of situations, that's not like forward-thinking enough, and I expected a little bit better from Keen in that regard.
And if I may just piggyback on Cap's point a little bit here, you're also putting yourself in a situation after that early game where you're prolonging a game into an Arc Warden. And you just saw the reason that I hate this hero that is so annoying to play against. That double, once he gets farmed, just walks up to your tier 3 tower, plink, 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 and you saw several different times in the game where GGG's farmed Chaos Knight, it's 50% of his health just taking down that Arc Warden Tempest double by itself.
Yeah, tough stuff. Who's your MVP for this particular game? Do you go with
Do I just give it to the Arc Warden player?
I think,
Do I just give it to Costa? I don't know if I want to.
Right? Is that against some sort of religion that you practice?
No, it's just like playing against an Arc Warden is always really annoying,
Yeah,
so I don't want to reward a player like that. But honestly, it was... The thing is it was a team effort. Again, I want to talk about the movement that SG cemented pretty early on in protecting their Arc Warden. The aggression, it's the combination, right? It's the aggression that they put onto, most notably, the Venomancer in the beginning of this game, right? Was constantly forcing Keen Gaming to react rather than set the pace of the game by going for the Arc Warden kills. But it was also the like protective shell that they would have around Arc Warden oftentimes, that he was really never felt pressured in lane because there would be heroes matched up in his jungle. They would have vision behind towers. Like, they always knew if the rotation's coming, they would know.
All right, thank you. We talked about MVP. You've also seen the car outside. Actually, we're kind of like in the most expensive car park in the world. I think that's probably definitely the most expensive car park I've ever worked in, that's for sure. And of course, we've got the Mercedes-Benz here. Lots of different cars outside. Fantastic for a car nut like me. And great news for the MVP as well, because they do get to win a Mercedes-Benz up to the value of 50,000. You can pretty much whatever they want, build it however they want. Fantastic prize, and the MVP is something you can be a part of as well. As you can see, it's just outside our studio right now. Is that mine? Is it? It's not? Okay. Well, apparently that's not mine either. So, still waiting, still hoping, but nevertheless, the MVP vote is out there, and you can take part in that as well. Make sure you get your votes in every day. You can change your mind as well as you go along, which is great, because if you see something today and you think, yeah, that cost us Arc Warden, wow, that was pretty sick, I can vote for that right now. Doesn't matter. You can vote for someone else tomorrow if you change your mind. These guys on the panel as well, they also have a job to do. You've got to find someone to vote. I've got to find someone to vote for.
You want to talk about that game?
I need to know who I'm not voting for.
You want to talk about that game? I'm actually going to give it to Adriano.
You're going to give it to what?
I'm going to give it to Adriano.
Really? Okay.
So I'll tell you what. When you look
You like his Mirana?
We talked a lot during the cast about the 20K net worth advantage that SG had for much of that game and was unable to close it out. Arc Warden, a lot like Alchemist, okay? That hero's kit innately generates gold, okay? You expect the team playing the Alchemist, playing the Arc Warden through the mid and late game to have a gold advantage. But if you looked at that net worth chart through much of the game, the Adriano Mirana was right up there with the Arc Warden, who had been protected so much from the most of the game. That was a great farming performance on the Mirana, and it made Keen's life that much harder, because if you do go in, blink in like GG did on his CK, try to focus down that Arc Warden, you have that big damage engine in a mega farm Mirana.
Absolutely. Right, let's turn our attention to Game 3. We've had had 61 kills in Game 1, 86 in Game 2, 147 kills. I think it's safe to predict we're going to get kills in Game 3, that's for sure. But where are we going in this draft? Is it, as Alan said, do you feel the same as Alan? They have to just ban this Arc Warden now. They're obviously very good at it. Just get it out of the way.
I do kind of feel like that. I was thinking at the end of the draft number 2, the fact that it was like, if you couldn't win game number 1, like, I really felt bad for SG quite a bit. Like, I was like, if you can't win that game, then I'm not sure if you can win it all. But at the same time, if you were going to win any game, it was going to be around their Arc Warden, which they showed the most strength at Starladder with. So they actually look like probably one of the best Arc Warden teams that I've seen. So, and that's a lot of praise, considering the teams that do play Arc Warden extremely good, right? So I think they're really good at it. The question is, are you going to be able to pick it up? Like, are you going to pick it up 1-2? I think it gets countered too easily. You're going to pick it up in the 3-4 area. Maybe that's a little bit more likely, but maybe it gets beamed down by Keen. I don't know. There's a lot of base around the Arc Warden from my perspective for this matchup going into game number 3, because it is, I think, the strongest tool that SG have in their kit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they seem to play better when they're on Comfort Heroes, right?
Yeah.
Not just the Arc.
That's what it boils down
well.
to. Yeah, no, the Spirit Breaker and the Mirana also definitely comfort heroes for them. And you saw that at various points in the game. They were able to use those two heroes very effectively. I thought, again, they had it pre-countered, and that, you know, we did see this team on Arc Warden at Starlighter. I actually think that they took it up a notch here. This is the best set of structured early game rotations that I've seen around an Arc Warden in a match at anywhere near this level. And, you know, Venomancer, not a hero that's necessarily easy to push out a lane. He's got that guaranteed vision from the wards. The way that they were able to just ruin Dark's game, basically, was really telling to me. I don't want to play against that hero again.
Yeah, okay. Do you feel that Keen change up the way they play, maybe force SG to play more the way they want to play?
I think one thing that they might look at is, I think the Bane Mirana, we said from the start, right, when we saw that opening, it is really good for SG. It's very comfortable for them. I think Bardino looked really good on the Bane in those situations. I think the style of play that the Bane offers you, where he's able to play a lot more out there to be able to set up the Nightmare kills for his team to be able to follow up on, was really good for him. So I would actually consider at least if we're going to let them have that opener again, maybe there's something we can change about our draft that sets us up a little bit better. Like the Clockwork, for example, not going to be as effective.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's get into draft number 3. It is underway.
I mean...
And Mirana Shaker.
Yeah, if you're not going to get the Bane, that's totally fine. They choose the Earthshaker instead, which we've seen like a couple times. This is the 4 position that you want the most. Oh.
Yeah,
I actually thought that was SG.
Yeah,
when I was looking at that draft,
I did too.
I was like, yeah, they love Earthshaker.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Okay, Arc Warden still left on the table. Would be very surprised if Keen don't ban that going into the second phase. But again, all 4 heroes so far by both sides comfort picks. I really do. They have the off-lane Liposa puck in their kit, but I really do hope to see the Adriano puck. That's something that I remember from those big SG Sports runs last year in the Major. He's the only returning player to the roster.
Mirana is a pretty peculiar core right now. He actually offers so much strength. Yeah. Part of the problem is that she turns into both a magic damage dealer early on, and then actually turns into a heavy physical damage dealer with her natural talent set and then the items that you built up. And she's also really hard to gank. That's actually a big problem, is that she poses a constant threat on the board that is not a guaranteed kill because she has her own escape mechanism.
Yeah, as opposed to a couple metas ago when it was just all about the Aghanims Blink Dagger build and just the burst magical damage. I really like what I'm seeing in terms of Mirana's dynamic damage profile as the game goes on. You get a good spread of that magic and physical damage. That's part of what makes her first phase potential, despite the fact that she's almost a dedicated 2 in this meta.
And I think that one of the things that Keen really picked up on is, I wanted to talk about, like, hey, I don't think the Clockwork, you give them the Bane Mirana opening, like, don't have the Clockwork as your 4 position. It's not good against that. But Keen actually, when they're taking the Barada, they're picking it against the Clockwork, right? So they're kind of reading the same thing, is that they love that 4 position picked up by SG. They've got relatively well countered right now. Of course, Clockwork's still good against Earthshaker, but ES can play around it, and Mirana is not going to be threatened at all.
Strong opens for
There's
both
the Arc
sides.
Warden.
Yeah, okay.
And the PL.
I actually would have been flabbergasted if Keen had let the Arc Warden through to the second phase. The Ember, we saw that in the last game, giving respect. Ting. And the Bane. Do you like the Death Prophet pickup here from Keen again?
Not yet, especially since they have the Mirana, which would...
give away 2 cores straight away, wouldn't it?
That's
yeah,
fair enough.
I mean,
That's
it could
fair
be
enough.
their mid Mirana as well, right? So
bad question.
And I think you're okay with the Mirana versus Puck, which is unlikely to be the matchup in mid, but it's just sort of default. I would definitely pick up my 5 position here, or my safe laner.
Still haven't seen
or off laner rather.
an IA yet, by the way. And the only reason I say that
is
because Rong,
huge for both teams, right?
Rong has played this massively 12 times in the last 3 months, and his nearest other one is Lich, which he's played 3.
Right.
I mean, that's absurd. It's not, and that's not just meta. It's there's part of Chinese meta, I guess, in that. But
SG have a terrible record against it as well.
Yeah.
SG are 2-8 against that hero the last couple.
You would have thought they would have done something, but instead they're going to go the Wyvern.
Yeah, and this hero has really just exploded on the scene. I believe it's 13-5 so far in Dota Pro Circuit LAN play this season. Definitely saw it yesterday, and I really like the pushing potential of this hero from the support position.
Also leans into that kind of flexi meta that we've been talking about, in that you can run it in the off as well. We've seen that a few times from teams now.
Yeah, but I think that's more
not necessarily this team, but
yeah, it would be very surprising if Keen threw us that curveball.
Yeah, this is Wrong's 4th most picked hero, so it's pretty safe. It's the 5.
Yeah, and it's great. It's like again, talk about the Jakiro in the 5 position that is able to offer you a lot of pushing power. Winter Wyvern does pretty much the same thing. Does a lot better. Dragons are always good. And
I always say 2 heads are better than 1, but okay, that's fine. You can go with the other one.
Okay. And it also doesn't care about clockwork, right? It's at least is able to get out of cogs for the most part. Slow damage over time. You can protect with Cold Embrace even if you're stuck in cogs. There's a lot of things that Winter Wyvern is good at here. Solid lockdown versus the puck that sets up the Earthshaker to be able to get the kill. Even if you can't kill the puck, it's invulnerable except to allies, right? You can at least set up the follow-up disables really well, like the Marana Arrow, for example.
Yeah, the other thing it does is given that these games are tending to go so late, all 3 of your first 3 picks as Keen Gaming have just a ton of wave clear. And wave clear advantage, both in defending high ground and assaulting high ground, is it just makes it so much easier.
And it typically puts you in more of an offensive position, and that is not a good. It's not a good thing for SG when they pick up Disruptor, who's very much wants to be on the offense because he is not a very strong reactionary hero, right? Its skill set is
and that
not
applies
meant
both
for that.
early and late.
Yeah, even if say you get the Aghanim Scepter late game, you want to be the one setting the tempo and putting it before the BKB is activated. Right. Early game, you got to make sure you get those good glimpses in kinetic fields. And offensive team fights much more difficult than defensive team fights. Yeah. So initiation and vision advantage is huge here for Keen.
Well, if you said that before you saw the Batrider pick, it just became even more so. Batrider, to me, one of the biggest consumers of vision. If you look at the hero pool across everybody in Dota 2, Keen's vision game has been, by and large, on point this series. But again, I go back to the Roche pit. Batrider has very long been part of the reason he's been picked up so often. He's one of the best fighters around the Roche pit in Dota 2.
What is it? I've never heard that term before. Consumer of vision? That just means he utilizes
he
vision
uses
really well?
he plays so much better with a vision advantage, and he needs other heroes on his team to generate vision for him.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good term to use. Vengeful Spirit. So it's either a Vengeful Spirit core here, and we're turning into like a really aggressive lineup from SG, or they're making this a Clockwork core, which I do not favor because it is not good versus any of these heroes. So you don't want to raise the farm priority of this hero, right? There have been other lineups where I've said clock offline, like they should do this here. Because the Clockwork was so good against the lineup, you wanted to raise its priority. But here, I don't think that's what they should be doing.
Last 90 days, the only player that's played it is Telecom. So that's the clock, by the way.
I don't.
And they just don't play Disruptor. They don't play Venge very often. This feels very outside of what they are used to.
I guess I could.
Almost
did they just ban Drow? Okay, yeah.
Did they even see that?
They got to.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could see about the Venge is that you're threatening the Drow. But yeah, they still got a ban.
Does this feel like the teams have swapped draft?
A little bit.
No. Well, okay. I'll say that maybe Keen's Gaming's is more SG, but SG's is not Keen.
No, that's true.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
SG's is just different.
I'll actually give you I'll actually give you that point. I'll actually give you that point, Paul. If you had shown me these 2 drafts before the series, hide the names, I would have picked.
You would have picked it the other way around.
Yeah,
right?
I would have.
Yeah.
Because Keen's also the team that has the more diverse hero pool.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's SG that have gone all funky on us.
So
now this got to be core Venge, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be core Venge.
I
think so, and they're leaving their mid for last pick.
They don't use clock in any core position.
Okay. I mean, it definitely had to be some sort of like, it had to change the narrative of the game a lot.
No Meepos in the draft, but Meepos in the crowd. I like that.
There's like it's not a good AM game, for example. That changes the narrative of the draft, right? All of a sudden puts a key like hero on the map that changes how the game is going to be played. Alchemist does
this is a
that.
pace decision, isn't it?
And it does, like, I think relatively well against Mirana. Keen still have the better team fight initiation and all those sorts of things. They have all the tools to be able to beat SG in the mid game and just run over them.
Yeah, okay, so that's where I was going to go with my next question. I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around this SG draft.
Yeah.
It's a bit of everything, isn't it?
I think it's supposed to be a lineup that is able to fight 4 versus 5 and get scrappy and build space for the Alk. I don't think they'll be able to match up to Keen and the team fight that they're looking at right now. But they could play it just like super fast. And as long as they're always getting the initiation in these fights, they can actually kill Keen. And take a lot of these engagements. But it is going to be difficult because they don't have the same amount of wave clear as Keen Gaming do.
Yeah,
and all 5 of those heroes are really good at being able to fight.
I actually just, I think you just said the 2 key words for me in analyzing these drafts. It's just wave clear. I just think Keen are going to be able to shove all of the lanes constantly throughout the game, and it's just going to be so hard for that SG Alchemist to find his space, to find the fights. I really like this draft by Keen.
Same.
Yep, good Monkey King pick at the end.
Yeah, sure. It's a fighting core that is able to kind of stand up toe-to-toe with Alchemist even as he starts getting farm. It delivers a big burst of damage, gives you really good team fight potential. I think the only thing that you're really missing is like the question of like how well do you push into high ground. I don't think that's a big deal.
But I think
the map.
the thing is with this kind of, everybody talks about wave clear when you're defending high ground. I like wave clear when you're assaulting high ground. It just feels like you have so many more chances.
Yeah.
Right? You just give yourself so much time. It's harder for them to cut waves behind you. I don't know. I don't want to underestimate SG after what they've shown us in the first 2 games. I really don't. But I just think this Keen lineup, it plays so well to their strengths.
Okay. Don't worry, I'll take that step for you.
Yeah.
I will.
You like their first 2 games, Cap, so...
I mean, I leaned with Keen pretty much in game 1 and game 2. I called SG because I thought their draft was good enough.
Yeah.
But SG did surprise me in game number 2. Great Arc Warden team, very solid. They don't have that here. They have a lineup that looks pretty questionable to me. I'll definitely go Keen, 100%.
Okay, thank you both. That fan's happy. He's an Alchemist fan. He's got his Alchemist in this particular game. It's the 3rd and final game between Keen and SG Esports. Who goes through, who stays alive, and who goes home? Let's rejoin your commentary team of Odie Pixel and Blitz.
Here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 of SG versus Keen Gaming. I'm Odie Pixel, and once again, I'm here with Blitz, ready to take you through this one. We've seen the lineups. I'm sort of happy for Keen that they don't have to worry about the Arc Ward, and they did indeed take it out this time. And it's made things to take a bit of a different turn for both sides this game. We've got a bit of a very interesting drafts. This lineup from SG with the Venge and Alchemist core duo, and then Keen Gaming themselves finishing off with the Monkey King. How good is this 5th pick Monkey King this game? I mean, a lot of the Chinese teams, they love this hero. Is this a great game to play?
I think so. You needed a hero that could just snowball and get things going. You needed something that could team fight so you don't go absolutely late game. And if you do happen to go late game, you have something that can battle toe-to-toe. Monkey King fulfills a lot of those requirements as, to start right now, Theo gonna get gone on. And the arrow gonna connect.
Oh, beautiful shot from Ink. That'll be your first blood. Very, very cleanly done there by Keen Gaming.
And Wrong picks up the last hit on it. He deserves everything.
And talk about these lanes as well. So we're actually seeing Ing, normally the mid lane player, taking the Mirana to the safe lane, and you're putting the Monkey King there. Is this what you want to get this MK out matchup?
Yeah, you want
just
the
so good.
MK out matchup. Melee versus melee. Monkey King is almost always going to be dominant. That's why we have Bardino go mid, try to help things out as much as he can. because Monkey King doesn't stand well against this kind of harass. He wants these kinds of one-on-one matchups against these fellow mid laners.
Jingu up here.
But he's taking a lot of damage, and he might just go down 1 or 2 more hits, but...
Yeah, did have the time. Oh! That level 1 rocket. What a play there. Holding on to the point, making sure he had it. That, you don't see that every day. That's some smart stuff.
That is why you hold skill points, guys. Okay. I was going to say, like, there was that time he got got on. He could have skilled Cogs, but no, he waits. And I can't believe that was useful.
That was amazing.
I mean, now he's got rocket level 1, but whatever.
Sure. It gets the kill.
You
though.
take what you can get, Owen, as up at top, Costa, he's taking a lot of damage.
That's a lot of stacks. He has got the core in the neighborhood, but of course, oh, mid lane, hang on. SG going in a bit deep with the Jingu already up. That's Adriano down. He gets punished for that. Well, Dino forced away. Very aggressive play from SG there as they come up onto the high ground, and they can't afford to do that, especially as we said, with this melee matchup against the Monkey King. You've got to respect the right click that he can turn around and deal out with the Jingu.
Yeah, without any sort of help from the Disruptor, can't really do much in that position. Really nice pickup for them, getting that return kill. Still can't believe that rocket kill. Like, how often do you see that useful? It does make his game a little bit more hard, because he needs a level 3 before he gets all of his primary skills, but it's okay.
Look at this though, Blitz, mid lane. I mean, again, it's making it so hard for Adriano to lane. This matchup that the Keen Gaming have been able to find is certainly causing issues for SG in this mid lane. We saw how they tried to deal with it, send the Disruptor mid. Sure, they get a kill off the back of it, but now Keen Gaming, they get a kill, and now it's very hard for Adriano to even think about coming into the lane. He's actually just headed off to the side jungle, as he knows it's not a safe place to be. The supports of SG, meanwhile, looking to make a rotation onto Dart. He should be fine. He had to have a point in the Fireflies. He did, of course, go for that early attempt with the flame break, but SG can't quite close the gap nonetheless. Dark will be okay. But, I mean, is this really the only way you have to play it now, is this Alchemist? You just have to ignore the lane when there's no support backup available?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's really difficult for the Alch to be able to shove in that lane. And the Monkey King, I mean, I call him a melee hero, but let's call it what it is, Owen.
Broken.
That wasn't what I was going to say. He's the closest thing you get to a range as now the Earthshaker trying to assault that jungle area. And the problem here is that no one can really go there and just sit there. The good news for them, though, is that this Puck is still getting a lot of farm in this bottom lane. Has 12 CS to his name. Is doing just fine. Meanwhile, up at top, the Venge is doing better than I expected against the Bat Rider, who is out of mana now. But still, it's this mid lane that... Who do you send there? Like, Theo doesn't feel good about this either. He's a melee Clockwork level 2, not going to contest this very much. Yeah,
this is what, level 4 Monkey King. 2 points in the Boundless as well as the Jingu. A Fissure and a Boundless strike, and you're dead in this mid lane. It doesn't matter who you are.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And they realize that Adriano, he's going to come back in and try and soak up as the wave does get pushed in. But look at this, they're looking for the Fissure. Really keeping Adriano on his toes. He has to be so careful in this mid lane. Down bottom, Liposa moving over with the Olakor, trying to catch out Wrong. See if they can quite chase him down. They're trying their best, but they can't quite do it.
Oh, and it's because he got that first blood.
I was going to say, as you say, he doesn't have the mid lane. Look at this. GGG's just able to go in on his own. He just walks in, takes the kill from Adriano. They do have a heavy wraparound. Taking him down would be nice. The Fissure comes through. He dodges out the orb. GGG's buying timing. If he can buy 10 seconds, he'll have the Boundless strike back up again whilst the Jingu stacks are still there. Adriano TP's in. They've got to respect the Boundless. It can come out in a second. He could try and turn if he wants, but he's playing it safe, GGG. He'll just continue to retreat. Bardino, hang on. Excuse me, sir. You're dead. I mean, I feel like he shouldn't have been there, Will. He should not have been there.
He didn't expect the double fissure. But still, nice escape by the Monkey King. Goes all the way around.
Yeah, he's had a beautiful lane. It's certainly, so far, these first 5 minutes, is absolutely done what Keen Gaming hope it would do.
Yeah. Adriano thought to himself, like, what's the worst thing that'll happen if I just show up and they say, oh, okay, I die and my Disruptor dies too. And the Monkey King gets away scot-free. So that is the worst thing that could possibly happen to you. And we're seeing right now 1 in 5 with Alchemist in his pro career.
It's better than 1 in 6.
That is a definite fact, as up the top, Costamille's going to go down as laning... They might lose their Earthshaker for this. They really want Alk to get the last hit on this one, and it doesn't go his way as Disruptor picks that one up.
Yeah, they're just trying to do anything they can to give Adriano the boost up that he needs to get himself back in this game. I mean, the gold, I mean, it's all right, but he's an Alchemist. It should be much more than all right if the game was going his way. And of course, the levels are also the issue. He's sitting at level 4. You look at the Monkey King, GGG is level 6, nearing level 7.
Yeah, and you see this Monkey King right now.
He's ready to fight.
He really wants to find Adriano, as Adriano going to show himself mid right now. They might want to make this committed dive, as they're going to know, first checking if there are any stacks available for him.
Well, that's a pretty stacked curry as well. That would have been the dream, but it does take the safe route. Adriano will be able to grab his bottle.
Yeah, maybe Monkey King, he knows that there's a bounty room there. He wants to grab this, take this away from the Alchemist, but meanwhile up at top.
SG, they're looking for their own fights. Hunting down Wrong with the magical. They've got enough. That's Wrong down. Dark has to retreat. SG will claim something from top.
Yeah, they're trying to rack together some kills. So laning phase kind of being salvaged right now. Unfortunately for SG though, this mid lane still pretty one-sided. But now that the Alchemist has some levels, he can just jungle this up. Isn't going to feel too bad anymore with some levels in that greed.
I mean, we've seen this down bottom as well. I mean, sure, there was a little help for Ing, but Liposa, he's not getting nearly as much as Ing is from this bottom lane. 43-18 against the 22 for 2. This has proven to be a very easy lane for the Mirana.
Yeah, and that's just the benefit of being able to play that safe lane. He's stacked up on a ton of regen. And now, Ing, being very aggressive with those phase boots, places a ward that undoubtedly was given to him. And
look at this. I mean, Shaker's just using his life.
That is a huge stack he stole.
He gets so much out of that. Top lane as well. This is your carry. Costabile having to swap out as the pressure is being turned on by Keen Gaming. Mid lane once again. GGG gets a free pick. Clockwork out of position. And the Monkey King is quick to punish.
Yeah, Costabile doesn't want to be up here either.
Oh, the stun control. Oh, he doesn't get out. The second Starstorm fall. It gets him.
He should have bought back and orbed back into his thing.
No, Will.
And then you get some experience at bottom. I don't know, it's a cool play.
I mean, at this point, I guess you could argue that levels are more important. I mean, he's got the level 6, though. That's sort of the level that he's looking for.
Yes.
Because they can look to make plays around the Dream Coil with the Venge and Disruptor.
With the Dream Coil. Otherwise, what's going to happen is they're going to start losing some of these tier 1s when they get dove. And then you can invade the Alks jungle, and he'll have no room to farm whatsoever.
Interesting to see how GGG plays with the lead that he has and how well he's able to utilize it back in mid. Bardino and Adriano.
They're making a go on him right now, and
I don't know if they want to.
He doesn't want to fight this.
Maybe
with the clock?
Yeah, maybe with 3 of them they can try. It's still a little risky. They will drag him back. One more touch onto Adriano will give him the full stacks. One boundless try.
Full health.
It's a magical spell. It's quite good.
He had...
They really want to kill... I mean, Dream Coil will be down. I mean, as long as he can get his stacks back up.
Chemical Rage now.
And the stacks are up. Adriano has got to run. GGG is thinking about trying to dive it. 5 seconds, and that free cheese is going to be back up for him. Here it is. The stacks are up. He's just got to land it onto a couple. Oh, there we go. Only one. So not quite a huge heal that he would have hoped for, but again...
And now he's hopping away. They really want to be able to kill him, but Costabile actually finds Ing, and Monkey King gonna safely teleport away. He was the real prize in all of this. They did manage to kill Ing, though, at the same time.
That's a big kill. As we talked about earlier, Ing was having a great start in this bottom lane. So as much as this Monkey King is a very valuable player to take down, so is the Mirana. Bottom lane, Keen Gaming may lose another. Wrong being hunted down. Dark's there with the backup. Jumps straight forward with the Firefly. Lasso onto Costabile, but the cogs are down from Theolical, breaking things up. Means that Costabile's got a bit of time, swaps himself out, will survive. Bardino and Adriano there to make sure Dark doesn't go in.
Oh, he's going to burn.
Oh, he walked straight through the Firefly, that clock. Theolical on a bit of a suicide mission there, as he ends up giving his own life. Keen Gaming do keep everyone alive. At the least for SG, they do make sure that Costabile doesn't go down again. But this is a lot of heroes down bottom, as GGG continues to have an entirely free lane mid. Ing's moved up to the top lane to get some space away from the side of SG. That's a double damage on GGG. He's going to want to try and do something with this, or at the least take a tower and know that SG would have to be very careful if they want to have a hope at trying to put a stop to this push. DD Monkey King is a huge no-go zone at this stage.
still, even without a natural pushing hero, he's just auto-attacking down these creeps. He wants to pressure down this tower. And once you get rid of these tier 1s, it's going to be very easy for them to invade on this Alps jungle. That's exactly what he's going for right now. Is that tower already at half HP, but now he's going to get glimpsed. They've got a decent angle, but he leaps away.
The perfect timing there, making sure that the glimpse does nothing at all, getting himself out of it, and now the turnaround comes through as Keen Gaming closing with the Moonlight straight onto Bardino. GGG knows his team's got the Disruptor kill. He himself seeing if he can chase down for more.
That was amazing timing. As he evades everything, surrounded by 3 heroes, once again manages to get out, and it's going to be Keen taking this tower.
One of the spells that you can dodge the glimpse with if you get the timing right, and GGG, he knows it. Executes it perfectly. We'll probably see that bit of a play again. They're ready to try and make an attempt, but timing the spring release the same time as the glimpse pullbacks there. And you can't catch him. Mid lane, Dreamcoil will be dropped, but the lasso's down, and Liposa gets nothing off the back of that ultimate other than his own death. Theo completes into this. What is going on? Double kill for GGG. Costabile, he's walking into the Wukong's command. You don't want to do that. You got to get yourself out. You've got to respect this power of Monkey. And he's Boundless strikes back up. Bardino will glimpse him back. This time GGG doesn't look to dodge it, but he can still continue to chase. Primal springs forward. We'll have the field, but still he just jumps over it. He's just going to continue to run this one down. Bardino should be safe though. And with Boundless Strike and Primal Spring itself still on cooldown, GGG doesn't want to get too crazy with that chase. Adriano's down again with 12 minutes in. It's 14 for 4. That final, honestly, the way that this draft ended, having that Monkey King, getting these lane matchups, SG just weren't ready to deal with that sort of just lane-winning draft pick in that mid lane. They put the support back up there, but it was nowhere near enough to do anything for Adriano against this Monkey King.
Yeah, and every one of those comeback kill attempts, he gets away, and he manages to nab a kill or 2. This time around, he got 2 kills. They really just don't want to give him a free game, but every single time they contest him, they go down. But this might be the one?
I don't think so. I mean, they dropped the Dream Coil, but again, they can't follow it up, especially with the backup of both Ing and Wrong.
This is starting to become pretty demoralizing. Every single time, they all show up together, they drop a spell on him, and he just sits there, and he's very comfortable. He's like, please, go on me.
Oh, and he's about to have a diffusal blade. Just
already?
13 minutes in. 200 gold and it's finished.
He is going to rip apart a lot of people. They're smoked up right now. They want to continue to play aggressively. They know their Monkey King is so far ahead. The real target here is the Alchemist, or maybe if they can get Costabile here, as the smoke gets broken, they should know about this now. As Wrong...
Yeah, they hit it with the scam.
Went the...
What were you going to say?
Incorrect way.
Thank you. Keep the memes clean.
As now bottom lane, Ing, a little bit reluctant to show, but now he does, and this might be an opening. Costabile wants to be able to go.
Yeah, still a bit of time before the rest of the team's there, and yeah, with the leap, did also have Moonlight. It's a hard play to make. They are pretty much relying on the catch from either the Clock or the Disruptor. I guess Puck as well can offer quite a bit. To be fair, they do have catch. It's just as we've seen, all about the lack of damage really at this stage. The panel's sort of worried about this. They said, sure, you got an Alchemist. You then got 4 heroes that normally with an outdraft, they're wanting to fight, make players on their own. But especially being behind at this stage of the game, it's incredibly hard for those 4 heroes to do much at all without having any sort of big core to back them up with the damage.
And that's a huge issue for heroes like Disruptor that don't naturally like playing from behind. It's horrible playing from behind as a Disruptor because you can't set up any of your spells. You're using Glimpse defensively. Not really the intended purpose of this hero.
Diffusal Blade now onto GGG. Anyone who gets close to this man will go down, nearly hitting level 12.
Moonlight Shadow.
Popped it. May have just been in range of those creeps. SG themselves smoking. Seeing if they can find an opportunity. They will get the rocket pass over GGG, but he's still in the cover of Moonlight Shadow.
About to break out right now, though.
He's going to start opening up onto Theo Lecor. Diffusal Blade down. This man's out of mana. 1 Boundless Strike to seal the deal, and the Clock's gone on the sidelines. The rest of King Gaming coming through. Jumping onto Bardino. Bardino's gone Costabile as well. He's not getting home. 3 down. And this is an incredibly early lead that Keen Gaming are really racking up. And with SG's lineup, I don't know how they do it. They do have this Alchemist, but they need to prolong the game Adriano, 2.6k towards the relic. He needs so much more time. And at this sort of momentum and pace, I don't think Keen Gaming are giving it to SG anytime soon.
Yeah, and during that engagement, they didn't even need the Earthshaker, who has been dutifully farming away.
I forgot they have one.
Yeah, he hasn't really needed to do anything since the laning phase.
He's loving life, Tianming.
They almost have 2 Blink Daggers on these heroes, and look at the positioning from GGG as he's just going to TP out.
A little surprised he didn't want to try and fight that, I guess, respecting the fact that ultimates are back up, at least for the puck. We're still obviously waiting to see that level 6 come through for Bardina, which is very important. They need everything they can get. Static Storm could change things. Mid lane, they are seeing if they can get any sort of catch, but down bottom, it is Keen Gaming finding the big one. They've hunted down Adriano. They may have lost the Wyvern in the mid, but it's the fact that SG are losing that one hero that they're desperately trying to draw attention away from. They got the Wyvern. It doesn't look like they're going to get anything more, as Dark will be fine as he fireflies away.
It's 16 minutes in right now, OD, and this Disruptor just got his ultimate. And if you look at the flip side of things, Tianming has his Blink Dagger.
I mean, these Echo Slams are going to get messy.
He's level 10 right now.
Oh, here we go. Ready with the smoke. Keen Gaming looking to make a big hit. They did have that ward up, SG.
Yeah, so they might have an inkling that this is going on, but Wrong is going to get caught out first. Does have his ice block available. Can Cold Embrace himself right now if he feels the need to.
Just don't. They've got the glimpse back, but indeed with the Cold Embrace, he buys some time. The rest of the team coming in. Moonlight Shadow looking to maybe set up some play for Tianming. He gets the Fisher out just onto one, but GGG connects. 3-man Primal Spring,
nice
quick
silence.
Static Storm does stop the Wukong's command of Boundless Strike coming out, but GGG will continue to chase. Builds up the Jingu. There they go away with the hook shot, but they will keep chasing down bottom. They do get the Clockwork. The rest of the side of Keen Gaming mid lane get Adriano once again, knocking back the timing that he's going to be able to get his hands on the Radiance. 20-6, 17.5 minutes in.
It felt like he just respawned too. Then he walks mid, TP's in.
Yeah,
his team doesn't even need him. That's how far ahead this Monkey King is right now. Is they were assembled as 4 at bottom against just the Monkey King and the Earthshaker, and they still couldn't take that fight. As at bottom,
oh, it
Monkey
would be
King,
a,
he's
it
starting
would
to
be
get
a
low
big
now.
kill. It would be a lovely kill, and they get it. Massive kill. Goes the way of Theolacore in terms of gold. SG, can they get more out of it?
They need more.
They do indeed. They've got the vision onto Tianming as they pop down the field, chasing him around. Has the Fisher, Dark coming in as well. Echo Slam dropped, will allow them to get the Disruptor, but it cost the life of the Shaker. SG making big plays in return. Concoction comes out, a 3rd kill for the side. Swap back from Costa Beale. Have they got the lockdown though for Wrong? Flies his way over the tree line. Arrow flies in from Ing, connects onto Clock, but the Mirana does not want to get involved. Wrong trying for the TP out. He just makes it as well. But overall, SG, for the first time this game, finding a good trade, taking 3 kills and getting the big one as well, proving that this Monkey King isn't entirely invincible.
Very nice by all of SG to assemble for that one. It looked like it was going to go so disastrously, but as soon as they go on GGG, they knock down that kill. And the weird thing is that Keen decided to stay during that entire engagement. Like, their heroes ran in 1 by 1. But when you're this far ahead, when you're like 3-4K gold ahead at this point, and you need to continue to snowball your momentum, you can't afford to lose heroes like that. We noticed that Adriano got the last hit on that Bat Rider. On top of that, it was like 350 gold. It's a kill for your Alk. It opens up the map a little bit. If the Bat Rider's alive during that time, him and Mirana can pressure him every single day of the week.
Look at this. They're ready to go for more off the back again. They've got the Wave of Terror Vision with the swap back. Theo's there with the Dust. Dark trying to get himself away, but he's not going to be lucky. SG.
What's going on? All of a sudden, this Alk has...
He's got his Radiance pretty much. Well, he's got the Relic, few hundred gold away from the Radiance. As you say, that last fight where he was able to get a bit of involvement, it's made all the difference. And Alk is one of those heroes. He hits those first few crucial times and items and gets the space. He will catch back up and he will gain the lead. You can't slip up against this hero. Top lane though, GGG just drops down the Wukongs as they rip through Theolacore. Not quite enough to bring him down, but he does get the kill onto Costa Beale. This position 1 Venge having a pretty tough game, as he's getting constantly focused now by the Monkey King. Space on the bottom lane as well for Keen Gaming to apply some pressure onto this tier 2 tower.
And they're playing some kind of weird hot potato game with the lead Owen, as every time SG finds some opportunities on the map, they immediately lose 2 heroes. Their carry doesn't seem to matter, but Keen They're trying to reset things a little bit here as Tianming just hiding in the tree line, and Adriano far away from all the action. Finally has that Radiance completed. This is what's going to allow him to slowly get ahead now. The rest of his team has to continue to make space for him. They can't all be up here sitting together as four because they want to avoid these fights.
Yeah, very nice as well. After he picked up that Radiance, he finds himself an Illusion Rune, so able to get some farm in both the top and the middle lane. Adriano.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, Keen Gaming very much hoping for some sort of action down bottom, and yeah, no surprise there really. The quickest on this current iteration of patch
Dire's bottom
this game from GGG and Diffusal Blade. 14
Radiant's middle
minutes
tower
and a
is
half.
under attack.
Top, the other core, eyes onto Dark. He's got the hook shot, but Dark's got the Shrine. Moonlight's popped as well. With the dust, have they actually got the damage for Dark? Doesn't look like it. The other core in potential trouble. He traps himself deep behind his own cogs. The rest of Keen Gaming coming through. Wrong flying over. The other core still hiding out. Dark, cold embrace just in time by Wrong. Jump forward from Ming will finish off the Disruptor. Theo's still alive for now. There's the chase down from Tianming, and one final slap from the Shaker will finish off the kill. So this time SG punished for getting a little too ahead of themselves. They're trying to fight around the Shrine. Backup was always going to be inbound.
If they could catch the Monkey King here,
It
he's
will be
by
the Dream.
himself.
They've got the Dream Coil and the swap combination.
Give it
First
10, 40
stun
yards.
into the concoction. They've got a good amount of lockdown. Have they got the damage though? He's got
Where's
the
the
Shadow Blade.
detection?
They don't have any between those cores. He will be able to walk off.
That was a little bit awkward. They use the swap, they get him even further away, trying to set him up in position for that Alchemist, but they don't have detection on top of that. It was a very neat trap. They were trying to show 40R at bottom. Maybe he goes for that instead. They block his path, but instead he casually walks away. And now Roshan, probably not doable for Keen. They're all gathered around this area though.
We've got the Yule Scepter finished now on Poster's part. And that, along with the Blink Dagger, does make him very elusive. It's very likely that he will find the opportunities for the big Dream Coils. As we've seen once, sort of another, we were looking for what was the Manta style. Adriano still needs time for that. He's got the bot stun after the Radiance.
Is under attack.
Even himself then can offer a little bit to the fights if SG can get a good initiation. Scan from Keen down bottom,
They know
will
he's
clear.
there. But the rest of the team is already in position as the bench will sacrifice his life every day of the week.
In fact,
now
SG,
Dark
they're
is-
thinking of fighting. They're cooking up the concoction, but they will not be able to close this gap. Keen Gaming themselves smoke up. They also want to fight. Both teams seeming hungry for this. There's no Monkey King at the moment. Now he's TPing back to the Shrine. So now both teams have the full 5-man. It's all about who gets the jump, and even then it is going to be Keen Gaming with more resources and that lead that could make the team fight easier for them. Moonlight is popped, but they're playing really careful, not wanting to give SG that opener.
Yeah, and both sides kind of just angling for position right now, understanding that they're walking on precarious ground as at bottom.
Yeah,
Astabil gonna just TP out and gonna create some space for this Alchemist. Not a whole lot for him to farm though, as the lane's not in the best position. Monkey King just trying to get his BKB before he takes another engagement like that. And it's the Earthshaker making his way up. But for the most part, now everyone from Keen is split. And SG, they are hiding behind this Vengeful Spirit. Maybe the Earthshaker does decide to go for
Oh, he's
this.
got to be careful, Tianming.
Everyone is up there now.
He does have GGG with him. Keen Gaming could get punished for this. The numbers are there for SG. They will look to
gets the
open up with
stun
the
up
hook shot
first.
and the Static Storm around straight away. Shaker's gone. The pushback as well. Picking off the Dream Core stun sets up for both kills for SG. Mid lane, Keen Gaming trying to find
He's
something in
hard
return.
committed for this.
The arrow's going to be off the point though, and Adriano, he should be fine. Turns with the concoction, backs off. Now Keen Gaming have to be careful because the rest of SG are sweeping across to the middle lane. Opposed to leading forward.
Rocket
Look at the
spots all
vision.
three.
But they haven't quite got the catch, or maybe they do. Yules is there from the poster. Of course, she gets a short glimpse. Still not quite enough. The rest of Keen Gaming get out, but getting punished there. They can't go for plays like that blindly on the top lane, especially with their highly valued Monkey King. These are big kills to give away to SG, and any sort of slowdown is great news for this lineup. Yeah, now we're seeing Alchemist. He's at the top. Not quite as much of an advantage as you'd hope to see on an out, but it's getting there. You know, this is the recovery period. SG, they're pulling it off. They're slowing the game down. And King Gaming, they're getting punished for plays like this.
Look how fast Costaville was in that engagement. He gets a stun off before the Earthshaker can get anything, and that's why you need to Echo Slam. If you're going to commit for a kill like that, you need to be able to get it off instantly, but instead the turnaround comes through. SG, I mean, if they're going to go down, they're going to go down standing as Keen, their once vaunted lead, cut all the way down to 1,000 gold. Everything working in favor right now of SG. This Alchemist continues to catch up, and he's going to be a very scary hero in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. If this game does get to the later portions, very hard for the lineup of Keen Gaming to deal with a fully kitted out Alchemist. But there's still a long way to go until that point. Keen Gaming still have advantages in terms of pickup potential. Jump forwarding onto Costabile. Hookshot comes free, but the Fisher catches out both. Beautiful play there from Tiaming, locking down both the Venge and the Clockwork after the initiation from the Batrider, and there's no chance for SG to react. Perfect positioning from the Shaker.
Yeah, BKB was used though, and for Keen, I'm not sure if there's an objective more readily available than this Roshan, but even their lineup doesn't take it very fast. So they're going to disengage off of this, and 4DR just continues to farm, and I don't think those kills are going to have the kind of impact they wanted to. They did lose the Vengeful Spirit, which is unfortunate, but their Alk is farming during all of this, and your Alk farming is a pretty decent trade, considering they didn't get Roshan, they didn't get a tower off of that. So it's just kills that you get on the map.
I mean, do you expect we're going to see Keen Gaming get, you know, infinitely more aggressive once the BKB's there? Like, do they even need to start thinking about trying to break the base once the BKB's a Monkey King?
Yes, once you get a BKB on Monkey King, then you'll play quite aggressively, but look at this play. They know the BKB's down on the Mirana. The Echo Slam's been expended as well.
Got the vision. Glimpse back into the field. Oh, no. Both ultimates coming out a fraction too late, and now SG have to get out. TPs are coming in from Keen Gaming. Theolacor's going to be the closest, but on the sidelines, GGG's also caught out the Disruptor. Theolacor's down as well. The rest of SG will get out, but that missed timing there from both players heavily costing them, as they didn't get the Dream Coil or the Static Storm on point. And now mid lane, the Orb's already out, the Lasso's in, the lockdown's there for the puck, the posts are gone as well. And just showing us this is not a game where you can mess up, as it's so quickly punished.
That is
what a swing back for
That is
for
so
King.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Imagine, okay, so if they get that kill, they immediately transition that into a tier 2 tower push, and none of this happens.
Yeah,
they
King
don't lose
Gaming
the puck.
cancel their TPs. They don't want to go in with
Yeah,
that.
everything is fine. They've completely reset the game. By grabbing that tier 2 tower at bottom, you're always going to put pressure on that. The Alk always has a way of threatening your base, and instead it goes the other way. You lose two heroes for that. An important one in the puck as well. I don't know. SG, they've got to tighten up their play right now. Their spell casting lacking a little bit. Every single attempt that you make onto this Mirana, it counts. She didn't have her BKB available, now she does, and it gets harder from here.
We'll see it again by the looks of it.
So the rocket flies in.
Little late with the static. They just needed it probably before the field was down.
Yeah, they used the Dream Coil there too.
Yeah, both faults, yeah. They've got to be careful. At the least, though, this is, of course, attention still drawn away from Adriana's Alchemist. He continues to find space, does have Manta Style as well now. So his farm will continue to skyrocket. But they really have to be careful about how much they give King Gaming's lineup, because as we say, this Monkey King and Mirana, they are now at a position where they are ready to consider going to the high ground, forcing Adriano to have to come in for the defenses when he is not at a position where he's too happy to do so.
Yeah, now this Monkey King grabs the tier 2. And you're right, he's not nearly strong enough yet to contest them. He hasn't become that big fat raid boss that we're accustomed to seeing with this Alchemist. And now the bottom tower tier 2 push is coming in, but with nobody at top, they're going to force the glyph here.
They've got to get back for this.
Somebody's got to get back for this. This is going to take a lot of damage right now, as 4DR doesn't have Manta Style available, and the tower already at half HP, glyphs already been expended. Maybe Costabile can make something happen with the swap play.
See what they can do. Glimpse him back into the field.
This is just going to be a tier 3 tower for free. Maybe not.
They get the Dream Core swap in immediately onto the Mirana. Static Storm down as well. They'll surround him, take him out. Ing's gone. There's the jump forward with the Winter's Curse. He's trying to wait for it, but he can't. The damage is too much. He has to get himself back out. But GGG, it looks like this Monkey King's enough to clean up. They don't even need the Shaker to get off any spells. As SG have to buy back on Costa Bill. The other three of them looking to get back. Laposa jumping in. Nearly takes a Fisher to finish him off, but he gets the orb. Magic Missile out as well, but Cold Embrace is there just in time from Wrong. Keeping Chanming alive. Theolacourt trying to come in with the Battery Assault, but he's forced out of the clock by the Flame Break. Echo Slam comes out for Tianming. They take down the clock. And Keen Gaming there. They may not be done yet. They're looking for Costa Bill. He has to force himself back to base.
With the TP.
Or can he get something with this? He can't. He ends up stunning himself. Keen Gaming. They could go back in if they want to be cheeky, but it looks like they'll play it safe, they'll play it cool. They know that buybacks have already been expended from a couple of SG's members. They get the tier 3 tower, they don't quite get the racks, but they do increase their lead by quite some bit. 9k gold lead now. And this is indeed as we expected. This is where it gets scary for SG. They are just not ready for the high ground advances.
Yeah, and they had to get back there sooner. They committed so hard for that tier 2 tower at bottom and not worth it at all. If they just have the Alchemist spamming Acid Spray from the high ground, sending in Manta Illusions, they won't lose that tower. Keen won't commit for that, and Keen doesn't really have easy objectives to go for, but instead...
Oh,
he's going to get
hang
dusted.
on, that dust!
He's no
next to a strike, can they kill him until they can? What a play there. They had that deep Dire Observer ward. They saw him coming in, and they were absolutely prepared for that. And that is a huge pick-off. We'll see what they can do off the back of it. As you said before, sometimes they get a kill, and with the position they're in, they don't get too much out of it. Roshan is up. We'll see if they want to go for it. With the Venge, they've got a good shot at trying for this, and they are going to try. They've got a DD rune as well. This is huge, but Keen Gaming, they've got a lot alive. They can contest this. And we'll see exactly if they do that. The flare comes out.
They've got a Batrider. This is a decent attempt,
good
maybe.
Positioning from the clock with the hook shot as well, making it very hard for Keen Gaming to get in. Coaches there, they get the stun. Magic Missile, but the curse, it holds him in place. It still goes down. No, Keen Gaming got it. They raided. They get the kill. They get the Aegis. That Winter's Curse there, absolutely perfect from Wrong, allowing Keen Gaming to take that fight around the pit. Not only do they get the Aegis and the cheese, they get the kills as well. SG are down 3. What a play from Keen Gaming. This why went wrong this whole series. He has been having some stellar performances on wherever it be. Well, we've seen him on the Dazzle, we've seen him now on the Wyvern, on the Vengeful Spirit. This man is making such an impact for his team.
He creates just enough time to be able to pick up the Aegis on Dark, and this is why they were able to contest that fight, because they feel around the Roshan pit, Batrider is uncontested. He's one of the best heroes at doing so. Unbelievable play as Keen Gaming now pushing in for the high ground. They know the Alk doesn't have buyback.
Wow.
Monkey King, now he's making his way up top to join the rest of his team in taking these racks. 18 seconds still on the deck for him. And here we go.
They get the lasso. Echo Slam as well onto 2 with the Fisher. Liposa's gone as well as Costa Biel, and that's the Venge gone. 80 seconds, no buyback. They'll easily clean up the top racks. Adriana's Alchemist will be back in the game. Liposa will buy back as well. Can they hold this though? Keen Gaming are so strong at this stage. 15k gold lead. Can they put a stop to this? Jump forward, Liposa silence onto 2. Hook shot comes down onto the backlines. Adriana's already there, but again, Wrongs with the Cold Embrace, keeping Tianming alive. Can they kill the Shaker? The Yules is out. He's going to survive. Gets the blink off again. Wrong with these saves, and the Winter's Curse holds the Alk in place. He's not going to be able to throw the stun out because of this. Jump forward for GGG. They surround the Alk with the Wukong's command. Fall down on SG. I mean, I've got to be honest, I want to give this man a Mercedes. Wrong is just doing so much.
Pick which one you want, Wrong. Go to the car park, just run there right now. I'm willing to lay down my vote as Keen Gaming.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable. They're going to completely wipe them. Liposa going to try to make something happen. Does manage to get a kill. The instant buyback.
He just spies. He knows it's pretty much over that him and Keen Gaming look to have done it here. SG, can they really hold Liposa, doing everything to try and hold himself and the team in this tournament? It's so hard for SG. There's such a deficit. The Theolocore comes in with the hook shot, quick fish out in return. Silences onto Wrong. Dark's falling low. Gets pushed back by the Cox with the boundless strikes there onto 2. Moving forward, Wrong with the Splinter Blast. Bursting cost to build down. Theolocore tries to retreat, but the chase is there with the BKBs on Keen Gaming. It's too much for SG. GG is called as Keen Gaming take the series 2-1. What a series to start things off, and what a turn up for these guys. Keen Gaming, new set of faces on the international scene, turning up in front of this incredible crowd. You know, it's got to be daunting. This is the noise, how full the arena is, but they just lived on it, and they grew with it, and they played insane.
Yes, they did, and this was my series of the tournament so far. Such a close back and forth battle between both teams. Keen gonna end up on top, but SG, they did have their bright spots, but they will be the second team now to exit the major.
Wow. And SG, I mean, you've got to give it to them. They did give us a great showing. Game 3, of course, that Monkey King pick seemed to throw a spanner into everything, but the rest of the series, it was a respectable showing from the side. And a team that we're seeing kind of, I feel, from land to land, even though the results don't necessarily show it, the games themselves show that there is improvement for these guys. They are on the up, SG, slowly but surely. They just need more time. And Keen Gaming, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be seeing more of them here as they will move on. Some great plays, some fantastic plays, honestly. Wrong. Incredibly nice plays, nearly as nice as the new Mercedes-Benz E-Class sedan. But we'll catch you after the break, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around for the ESL Hamburg Major. I'm OD Pixel, this has been Blitz. Don't go anywhere.